everybody, and welcome back to the stream. I'm LB Hackemup. We're playing some Mask tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I am joined by my lovely cast. We're going to go around and everyone is going to say who they are and who they're playing tonight, and then we're going to get into it. And we're going to start off, as always, with Savannah. Go ahead.
Hello, I'm Savvy. I'm at Savvy Seaworth on the internets, mostly on Twitter, where you can find my streaming schedule, which I do need to update for this, pinned to the top of my page. Someone remind me to do that later this week. You can find me here every Sunday night, doing whatever it is we're doing here. It's been a lot of things lately, and it's been really fun. And I'm really excited to be playing Masks again. You can also find me Thursdays through Sundays on twitch.tv/game nights, running or playing games over there. But tonight I am playing Sophia Minea, hero named Nemia, who is the bull.
Thank you very much. Next up is Miss Rachel.
Hey, that's me. Hi. I am Rachel Elizabeth. You can find me here on Twitch at Rachel Elizabeth, and I really do need to make a streaming schedule now that I'm kind of better at keeping a schedule. Everybody be proud of me. Tonight I will be playing Jupiter Jennings, who does not have a superhero name because she can disguise herself whenever she wants. So she's just Jupiter.
Perfect. Thank you. Next up is Miss Tanya.
Oh, hey, you can find me at Tanya Rowland on things, I guess mostly Instagram, and my weird podcast, Spider Facts with Billy, you can listen to. But tonight, I am Nancy McGee, superhero name, the Devereaux, which I'll explain later.
Perfect. And last but not least, our dear friend Alex.
Hello, I'm the dear friend Alex. I'm OMG at some guy on the internet. You can mostly find me like Savvy on GGK. I'm there Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays. Next time you'll see me, it'll be a Tuesday where LB and I are playing in a Cthulhu-inspired game. We're going to go into a haunted house and probably die gruesomely. But it's okay, it's a Groundhog's Day thing, so we'll reset. Just, living with that trauma as we do. Anyway, in tonight's game, I will be playing Billy Burns, aka Rune, who is the Nova.
And I'm LB Hackmup, and I am going to be the dungeon mistress for the evening, aka the keeper, aka the game master. Woo! I'm going to be running this show. It is our first episode of this game. It's going to be a lot of world building, character development, all that fun stuff. So I'm excited to get into it, excited to get these kids into school. We'll do a little bit of background, and then we'll jump into it. Everyone good? Cool. All right, let's get started. So, all of our players, all of these wonderful teens, are seniors at the Golden Duke Academy. They are, they just finished their provisional training where they were able to observe and report crimes in the area or wherever they were assigned. They did this under supervision, and there was one incident involving a humanoid-like, rat-like creatures who were trying to rob a technology-based environment, and they were able to stop them, even though it was going against orders, but they were still rewarded for this, and they were able to move on to their next semester of hero training, where they will be able to go out in the field and do actual hero work, saving people, fighting things, the family business. So they have, the school year is starting. They have all the same homeroom with Miss Short, who is their homeroom teacher. In this universe, because I know not all schools are not in this school, because I know not all schools are the same, you have your homeroom where you sit for, it's about a 20-minute class, you get the announcements, you can finish up any homework, and then you go to the next bit of your classes. It is the first day of school. You are all living on campus, so you have walked from your dorms, or flown if you have that ability, to class, and we're gonna have everybody sort of introduce themselves as they are walking into the class. I was gonna go in order, but is anyone incredibly punctual and want to be the first one in class?
I think Billy would be. So probably, I don't even know if the teacher would have been there yet.
Okay.
Maybe she arrives to Billy waiting outside the classroom door, but he is just laden down with books. Like his backpack is, can't even zip shut, and he's got like 3 or 4 more textbooks clutched in his hands that he is, having a little difficulty holding on to. And keeps trying to adjust his glasses as
Aw.
he is trying to not drop too many things.
Yeah, so you see your teacher. She sort of has a light blondish red hair, glasses, a button-up t-shirt, I'm sorry, a button-up shirt with a cardigan over it. She sees you and kind of throws her bag a little bit over her shoulder more. So, oh, I'm so sorry. Can I help you with any of that extra stuff?
Oh, that's all right, Mrs. Short. Just if you could open the door and I could set this down, that I would appreciate that. Thanks.
Of course. I'm sorry. What was your name? She goes to
Oh,
open the door.
Yes, sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm Billy. Billy Burns.
Mr. Burns. Okay, all right. Well, she opens the door for you. Take a seat anywhere. Do you know your squad assignment? You should be with the same people you were with last year.
Yes.
Oh.
And starts looking around, trying to take into account the others' seating preferences. Because if we're just up to Billy, he'd be at the front, but doesn't necessarily want to make subject the rest of his team to front row seats the whole semester. So
All
probably
right.
goes and finds, a seat along the side. Not quite, yeah, just somewhere along the side.
Okay. Can you give us a description of what Billy looks like?
Yes. So I already mentioned he's got glasses on because he is nearsighted is one where you need glasses for things up close, right? Yes. So he's nearsighted, so he's got that. Okay. Got glasses, but fairly fairly scrawny. Has got kind of black hair that he is trying to comb down. Tries to keep it in a neat part, but there's that one little cowlick that refuses to listen to it, no matter how much he tries to groom it. But yeah, he's in. They have school uniforms, right?
Yes.
Yep. So full school uniform. It is probably too starched, too neatly pressed.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly looks a little uncomfortable in it, but is trying not to complain. But yeah, average height. Nothing too remarkable at first appearance.
All right. So Billy takes a seat. A couple people file in. People that you know from classes last year. People of note. You know that a couple of the students are. You got Lily. She is a darker skinned girl with sort of these thick dreads. She has a yellow large ball python around her neck. And she kind of walks in the room. There is another girl named Tara, who is wearing, she has sort of fuzzy, longer ears, very large white eyes, and 2 very fluffy antennas that hang out over her head. They walk in and take their respective seats. They're chatting. But who is the next to arrive out of our squad?
I think Nancy likes to be punctual, not quite as much as Billy, but so yeah, Nancy walks in.
All right. So, well, let's give us a overview of Nancy and what she does when she walks in.
Nancy walks in calmly. She looks like she has dyed gray hair. And she never goes anywhere without her bright red lipstick, like all the older women she's been around her whole life. And her hair is always nice in an older, outdated kind of style. And she's wearing like, you ever see old people when they wear those? They're like nicer pants, but they're just like fancy sweatpants, kind of. So like they have an elastic waist, and she's got like a sweatshirt top on it, and it's got like a floral print on it.
Wonderful. You walk in and you can see that Billy is sort of near middle back of the room, on the side. You know that you are
Nancy.
going to be in the same group
Nancy.
together.
Good day, Billy. How are you?
Well, I'm just woke up earlier than I tried to sleep in, but I'm just so excited. So I've already had 2 cups of coffee. How are you?
I am great. You are such a good boy being here early. Nancy's not condescending, but she's just used to calling everyone kids and like the old person in the room, kind of.
Nancy's our team mom.
Mm. And
Team
then
grandma.
Nancy would want to sit in the front. She's kind of conflicted because she's gonna die probably sooner than most people, but with being the doomed, but but being around so many old people, she's kind of made peace with it and wants to make the best of it. So she's gets torn in between like being hopeless or you know what, yeah, we're gonna make the most of it. So she sits kind of right in the front in the middle because she really wants to. She always tries to soak everything in as much as possible. Yeah.
Now we played chicken to see
I
who's
was
gonna be late.
I was gonna say, I feel like we both like see each other at the end of the hallway, and we're like, oh, like run.
Oh no, we're late.
Ah.
And Sophia, I think will shows up like just like the minute before the bell every time because she knows if she is late, her mom will hear about it because her mom's a teacher. But she still wants to be cool. So probably
Right.
walks in like right before Jupiter. Sophia is tall. She is 5'11", almost 6 feet. Sort of tall, very long legs, but muscular, and sort of sinewy and kind of built. She's got long blonde hair, and tall blonde cat ears that sort of poke their way out of her hair. She is technically wearing her uniform. But I think her shirt, I was imagining like a button down shirt and like, skirt and socks and stuff. So I think she has like the button down is like on, but it's unbuttoned. She like tank top on underneath, that has a big lion on it. And she's sort of wearing the tie like a little bit. It's tied kind of, but it's very loose. Skirt way too short. Just entirely too short. Inappropriate. And she walks in and she's got these big like headphones on. It's very loud and you can hear the music coming out of them. When she walks in the classroom, she takes them off because she gets in trouble for wearing them, but she leaves the music going, so it's just like playing very loudly. And she's got her like backpack and her duffel bag, which are both stuffed full of shit, and is just kind of like casually carrying them, even though they're very heavy, like in one arm, just kind of like slings them into the desk behind Billy. Hey nerds.
Hi, Sophia.
Good day, Sophia.
Good day, Nancy.
Thank you.
I almost thought you weren't going to make it, but, every time, minute before.
Every time. Are you timing me?
No. Like pulls down his sleeve over his wristwatch.
Maybe I should try to beat my record.
And get here earlier or cut it closer?
Closer, obviously.
Sweat bead drops in. If you think that's whatever you want to do.
And she kicks her feet up on the back of Billy's chair.
Sophia,
then-
that's not very polite.
Oh, sorry, Mom.
It's fine. and like kind of shoulders one of your feet away, but then will lean back.
Oh, by the way, I forgot we have uniforms. So I have my uniform on and it's nicely pressed, but I have like a giant brooch
Yes.
and it's just like a big crystally flower, like super fancy.
I love it. And right as the bell rings, Jupiter skids into the doorway.
Floats.
Floats, excuse
So
me.
she can fly, you know. So she's making an entrance on the first day of school. She comes like floating in right as the bell rings. She clears the doorway, looks for her friends, and just, you know, makes her way over to them. Jupiter is about like 5'9", 5'10" today, you know, because she can change that at will. But her natural state would be about, you know, between 5'8" and 5'10" or so. And she has, you know, hair that's like dark at the top, fades into purple and then gray. And her uniform is accessorized. Today, her eyes are just gray. Sometimes they'll glow, sometimes they'll be pink. It just depends on her mood. And yeah, she's got accessorized, you know, like she's wearing the uniform, but she's like kind of not wearing the uniform, you know, like it's like tied up and she's got something underneath it that's like brightly colored and lots of jewelry and lots of just random things, little baubles and stuff, because she's had to wear a uniform her whole life in training, and she'll be damned if while she's on Earth, she's gonna conform.
So Jupiter rolls up into the class. The teacher, Miss Short, looks at her watch, looks at the clock above you, and like gives you a nod and ushers you in.
Sorry, got distracted.
She doesn't understand Earth time.
Jupiter, we'll go over time again later if that would help you.
I mean, yeah, it just works so much differently here. I can't quite get a handle on it, even though it's been 4 years.
It's a hard system, base 60 time. It's silly.
It's weird.
Ooh.
Seems archaic, but you know.
Billy's just like, oh my god, no one on my team knows how to tell time.
Well, Billy's also, he's trying not to nerd out too much. It's like, well, I'm sure Jupiter is more used to, you know, relativistic times, having, you know, traveled the whole galaxy. Being stuck in one place must seem really weird.
I mean, it's fun. It's different. I like it here.
Are you guys seriously talking about how clocks are fun?
Maybe.
Indeed. And it is archaic, as old as time itself, on Earth at least.
God, you sound like my grandma.
Thank you.
All right.
Sophia spends 90% of her time trying not to laugh.
Miss Short sort of stands up, turns around from the board. You see that she has written on the board Mrs. Shorts / Yaga, and she is, or Mrs. Yaga, and she is going to kind of address the class. All right, everyone, settle down. We've got a big day ahead of us. I know it's your first day, but we'll want to make sure it's a good one. After the principal comes over and gives us announcements, we're going to go through your class assignments and your watcher assignments. It is a half day today, so after this class, you're going to be going and meeting them first thing. Yeah, so if you just keep it down, we'll wait for the announcements to start, all right? She kind of turns back to the board and starts writing. And about that time, make sure your volume's up in Roll20, please, people. You hear an announcement. Everyone ready? All right. And this is the announcement.
Welcome to the first vibe check of the year, seniors. This is your principal, Johnny Vibes. Congratulations on completing your Observe and Report Heroes training last year. Now, I'm sure all of you are very excited to start your provisional field training and find out who will be your watcher for this year. Your homeroom teachers will hand out watcher assignments after
I
announcements.
don't hear anything.
But remember that your schoolwork is just as important as your hero work. So do your best, and reach for greatness. A reminder that any use of powers on other students is strictly prohibited and that the basement is still off limits. I look forward to hearing amazing things from your watchers, and I hope you make this your best year yet. Remember, my door is always open if you want to talk or just chill. Johnny Vibes out.
And the announcements end. Tanya, I will send that to you so you can listen to it.
Please send it to me too, because it never came through. My master
Oh, it
volume's
didn't?
up. Yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
guys
My
hear it?
master volume is up and it still
Savvy and
didn't
I got
show.
it.
Okay.
Oh, it's so weird.
All right. I will send that to you
All right,
guys.
thank you.
That was an announcement from your principal, whom you all know and love, Johnny Vibes, who is, as you guys have seen from the hero card that I posted, but I will pop it back up for you guys. Your principal, your cool principal of
Our
the.
hot principal.
I mean, he's a good looking dude. He's super chill. Rides around on like an actual hoverboard. He's just here to listen to your problems, man, and help you out if he can. That's what he's here for. Mrs. Short turns back around and she gives a nod and smiles, and you guys kind of see smoke start up behind her. It's like a green, misty, foggy thing, and she kind of like shakes her head and then like takes a step back, and as she does, a figure steps forward, and you see a plant-covered creature with red glowing eyes and sort of crooked fingers and legs hunching forward, and she looks to everyone and says, I will be giving out your watcher assignments. Now, you all are sitting in your groups. That's very good. Thank you. Oh, I am Mrs. Yaga, and I will be half of your homeroom teacher for this year. The other half is not as fun as me. She kind of like smiles and chuckles to herself. All right. Now, let me go through my list. And she kind of picks up her like it's a very large clipboard in her very small hands, and she looks to you. The first group, that would be, and she points to you for your assigned watcher is the kid. And she makes a note and checks it off, and then she starts going down the list and announcing all of the other watchers for the group, or for this room. There are 5 different. I set up a scratch board for my cats, and they're moving it a lot, so I apologize if you can hear that. But she goes down the list and says all of the different watchers. It's not anyone that you've heard of before. They are all basically grad students who are going to be taking care of you guys through the year. And she will let you know that you guys can meet your watcher in the training room, which is across campus. After she's done going through all of the list of all of the watchers and all of the students, she will then say, you have the rest of the period to yourself. And she like moves down, gets on her hands and knees, and crawls under her desk.
Well, that was interesting.
I love this planet.
You see one of the girls turn around, who is in a chair in front of, who's sitting in, like, are you guys in a cluster of 4? Or, yeah. So one of the girls turns around. You guys know her as Tara. Oh. She is adorable. She has very pale skin, though she has those big fuzzy ears, the big fuzzy antennas, and a like almost a mane of feathers around her neck. And she has these big moth wings that come down. You know that her hero name is Brave Moth, and she looks at the rest of you and says, "Hey guys, did you have a good summer?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was delightful. How was yours?
It was great. We did a lot of training stuff, but it was like, not that busy. It was just like watching and taking notes and all that, junk. Did you guys hear about Ted?
No.
The beetle
No.
guy, the guy who was, I think his name was like Scurry.
What
No, I
happened to
haven't.
Ted?
He's not coming back this year. They said he got recruited into the band of bad guys. That's like the third one this year. Well, the third one over the past couple years, right? Like there's Aqualion, the Smoker, and now Scurry. It's like a little crazy.
Oh, that's crazy.
There's a lot of people joining the band of bad guys.
Yeah, I just don't know what their draw could be. I mean, like, we're helping people, right? Like, that's the goal, right?
People stray off the path all the time.
Not everybody's as nice as you, Tara.
That's what I've been told. Are you guys excited? Do you know anything about your watcher?
Nope.
Not a thing.
It's so lame. I wish we got, like, actual heroes and not, like, college students,
Well,
Yeah.
the actual heroes are probably busy.
I
I
spent
mean, I
most of
guess.
the summer in the city with my brother, so this is probably going to be a step down.
What city?
One of them. I don't think we decided which one.
No, I just gave you a list of cities and I was like, there you go.
Whichever one is closest to where we are.
Probably Spark City, which is the biggest city.
Oh, cool. Perfect. That one.
Isn't your brother like super famous?
I mean, super is a strong word, but yeah, he's pretty famous.
He's really cute too, right? I mean, not for you, but I mean, like people think he's cute.
You and no.
But he's got those cute little like black cat ears on the tail. I mean, yours are cute too. I really like yours.
Thanks.
Anyways, I'm gonna go back. You guys have fun. Okay, bye. Turns around in her chair.
She's right. Your ears are pretty cute. Isn't that what you're going for?
Thanks. It's hard balancing cute and tough. You know what I mean? Like you want to be approachable.
But fierce.
Yeah, but not too approachable because you do sort of want people to be afraid of you.
Yes.
Understood.
I think you walk the line pretty well.
Thanks. It's kind of an art.
Billy's writing down notes, and if you look, it's cute versus approachable, and like trying to set up like almost like an XY axis. And
Oh, it's great.
I would prefer to be underestimated, so I don't have too many issues with that.
It's kind of hard when you're as tall as I am.
Mm.
I can be taller if that would make you feel better.
No, I kind of like being the tallest, actually.
Okay.
I could do something about the muscles, but I like those. So,
I mean, they're very muscly.
thanks. I work really hard on them.
So, why I was almost late today. I ran into Ainsley outside, my best friend, and she met a squirrel named Dolly that she was
Oh.
talking to, and Dolly was having marital problems. So that's why I was almost late today, is because we were trying to solve a squirrel named Dolly's marital problems.
Well, that's nice of you guys.
I mean, I'm not much help.
Like,
I've never had a boyfriend, but
you never
Ainsley
had a
had all
boyfriend?
those older brothers, so she tried to give her some advice.
We'll circle back around to the boyfriend thing. You mean like a squirrel and not like a squirrel girl situation?
No, yeah, squirrel.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Squirrels get married?
I guess so. I didn't know that. I
Hmm.
thought you guys could answer that question. Is that common here? Ainsley's the only one that I know that can talk to animals telepathically. So
Yeah, I've never talked to a squirrel.
Huh.
Yeah, a lot of humans can talk to squirrels, but I mean, maybe that one did get married. Good for it.
Good for her.
Maybe she's a special squirrel.
Sounds like it.
But that's why I
Never
was
had a
on the flight.
boyfriend?
No. I didn't really have time for that. Like on my planet, like that would have happened, after a while. It was like, or maybe not at all, depending, just because of, my career.
Well, if it's any
Right.
consolation, I haven't had a boyfriend either. Or a girlfriend for that matter, but
I did kiss a boy my
Ooh,
first day
what-
here.
What?
How'd that happen?
Oh, I didn't tell you guys that story.
No.
Nope.
Oh, okay. So when I first got here by mistake, I like transported accidentally outside of a high school, and there was a basketball game going on, and I was like, well, this is too perfect. So I like went inside, and then I was watching the basketball for a minute, and then there was this really cute boy in like the middle of the court, and I just walked out there and I kissed him because I figured I was gonna get transported back any second.
Gotta live out that like Earth teen fantasy.
Yeah. And then I didn't get transported back, so we're still friends.
Huh. Your boldness pays off.
Yeah.
Maybe I've been introducing myself wrong.
Yeah. It was, yeah, I figured like they were just going to correct their mistake any second. So I figured I might as well, like live out my high school fantasy for a second since I was here and I was at one and there was a basketball game going on.
So you immediately found humans attractive, I see.
Well, yeah. I mean, we don't look that much different.
Mm.
Just purple tinged.
I mean, if I had to
Well-
pick a color, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody's purple tinged. I mean, because, like I can change. Not everybody on my planet can, but everybody's like, we're pretty humanoid and height differences, and everybody's like tinged a different color.
Hmm.
Like one of my dad's is green.
you say one of your dads. Do you have two, or do your people have more than two parents?
Oh, I mean, my planet's a lot less stringent with like, it's not like couples, it's all partners. And my parents, I have two dads and it's just the two of them. But when they were younger, there was, they had a third partner when they were younger, but not anymore. Then it was just the two of them. And then they had my older siblings. Well, my older siblings were made and like given to them. Genetics are weird. It's different on my planet. But yeah, gender is a lot more fluid there. And, like I had two sisters and a brother, and then one of my sisters is now my sibling, but that's like very common on my planet. People just change all the time and it's not a big deal.
I was curious if your two parents, if they mate the same way, if their colors affect your color.
Well,
Okay, let's not talk about our parents having sex. Thanks.
Andy,
Ew.
that's what I was trying to get at, but be a little bit more subtle about it.
Hey,
Oh,
at least
yeah.
you have parents, okay?
we can take the genetics from two people and create a person on my planet, and there doesn't have to be.
Understood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
I'm just gonna, and just puts her headphones back on.
oh, I did it again.
Don't worry about her. She's fine.
You guys
I
are a little high
prefer-
strung on this planet when it comes to those kinds of things.
I prefer a long courting process, but it doesn't always work out that way. I know it's supposed to be that way, but things get the better of me sometimes.
Jupiter, it's kind of like the all the shows you watch, sorta, kind of, but not really. I mean, you hopefully understand, but now those are all exaggerations and stereotypes and archetypes, right?
Yes,
Okay, but
that's why
sometimes
that's why we like them.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it is exactly like that, and it's just
Oh,
hard
I
to tell
found-
when it's going to be that way.
I was very surprised when I got here and I realized, like, to high school, and I realized that there were actually bullies. I thought for sure that everybody would have evolved past that.
Yeah, we kind of hope that too, but people are gonna be jerks.
Yeah. And
They
I
usually evolve past it once they see me coming down the hallway.
they evolve quickly.
That's not how evolution works, but okay. But
What do you guys think our watcher's gonna be like?
well, Mrs. Yaga said their name is the Kid, so I'm wondering, do they look like a kid, or is that an ironic name?
I bet it's a cowboy.
Baby goat
Like Billy the Kid?
or Billy
Sure.
the goat.
Oh,
Maybe it's a goat with a cowboy hat.
who's Billy the Goat? She whispers to Billy.
Just because I'm also Billy, but it goes on to explain Billy goats.
Do you know all Billies know each
Oh.
other?
I don't know.
My money's on cowboy.
I hope they're like Giles.
You've been watching Buffy.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
You told me to watch it, so I have been.
I rewatch it once a year faithfully.
Oh, okay. Cool.
The bell rings. Your homeroom is over. You were told that you are going to report to the training room. And that is across campus. So you guys have a slight walk. There are plenty of people moving around, a lot of kids. And as you guys are exiting the building, you see, well, one of you see a familiar face, long brown hair braided off to the side, with a very tight black long sleeve shirt on that has a appropriately cut neckline. They have dark, large cat ears coming up off of their head, and you see your mother peek around
Race
the corner.
you. There, I have to go right now.
She kind of you guys know Pantera is her name, her hero name. Pantera is obviously your Sophia's mother, and she is one of the teachers here. She is a very well-known superhero, and she kind of Sophia, as you guys sort of go, well, as Sophia goes running past, what are the rest of you doing?
Hi, Mrs. Minea.
Hello, Billy.
Hi, Mama M. How are you?
Hello, Jupiter. How are you guys having a good first day?
It's wonderful. Thank you.
Good, I'm glad. Well, make sure Sophia, is getting to her classes on time. I know she's being good about that, but that's important.
Yep, she was there a minute and 15 seconds before the bell this morning.
Thank you for timing her, Billy. That's very kind of you. Keeping people accountable. I appreciate that.
Yes, and Mrs. Minea, we were told that our watcher is the Kid. Can you tell us anything about him, or should we just go and meet him?
Well, if I remember him from his time here, he's a very good student. He a hard worker, likes to get good marks and works hard for it.
Okay.
I think they'll be a great watcher for you.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Minea, and we should probably go meet him.
All right, have a good day, kids. And she yells after Sophia, make good choices, because she knows that you're running away from her.
I don't know you.
Why'd she
Goodbye.
say she doesn't know her? That's her mom.
If Alex knew more teenage dramas, he could point to an appropriate reference to point out that kind of mother-daughter relationship.
Is she embarrassed?
Kind of.
Oh. Okay.
Freaky Friday.
Oh.
They have a much better relationship than that.
Ooh, room. All right. So you guys make your way across campus. It is a lush green campus, rolling hills. You guys are in the middle of the country. It is very green. There are woods off to the side. There's sort of a river that moves through campus. You go over the bridge, and through the wood. You don't go through the wood, it's all open. There are trees though, and you make it to a very large building. This is sort of the rec area where people will go for training. You guys have been in here before. It is a very open area, but you were given the specific room to go to, so you guys make your way in and into the training room 1A. It is, you walk inside and there is it's a very large open room with sort of gray paneling all around the walls. You know that they use this for training. It is a holographic room where it will create any sort of anything that you need as far as like if you want to be in an urban environment or in the water or whatever it is. It's very high tech, very realistic, but also it's not going to kill you. And on the inside, you see standing in the middle of the room, sort of not facing you guys, is a 3-foot tall bipedal goat with a gray cardigan on. And I shall reveal to you, and as he turns around, he gives a good old smile. I hope you guys enjoy that image that I just put on.
Yes.
Roll
I was
20.
right.
You were right. And he says really, hey, come on in, guys.
I kind of whisper to Jupiter, the kid is also the name of a baby goat.
Is this like Phil and Hercules
Sure.
or Mr. Tumnus?
I have no clue what you're talking about, but yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sophia's done a lap around the building and is now coming in because she still didn't want to be the first one in class.
Nerd. Everyone
What's
hydrate.
I lose.
Thank you for that redemption. Billy like looks over you guys and says, well, I got a good crop today. So I'm the kid. I'm gonna be your watcher. It's gonna be pretty chill. I will be following you guys on your missions, and I'm not gonna be like on your heels all the time, but I will be there if you need me. And yeah, I mean, basically, I just want you guys to do well. I want to make sure that we're getting back good marks to the teachers and no incidents, which is going to be a big thing for me. I don't like filling out paperwork because it's really hard with my hands. You see him kind of like clapping his feet together in the front. And he's just like, you can call me the kid or just kid. It's fine. I understand that it is weird because I'm older than you, but it's what I'm used to. So yeah, let's get into it. Why don't we I got your names, let me guess. Sophia, Billy, Jupiter, and Nancy. He kind of points to each of you and your respective names. All right, hell yeah. So yeah, we're gonna get some training in. I want to see what you guys can do before we get you out there. But basically, I'm gonna be the one who's sort of the middleman. They're gonna give me assignments where we're gonna be going to like we're gonna go train, or are we gonna go out and do patrol, or are we gonna go and do like missions for people? It just depends on your power set, what we're available, and yeah, so you'll be seeing me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday after lunch, and so I'm gonna be your new best friend for the next well, I guess the school year, unless y'all drop out, which I would appreciate if you don't do that, because that's again a lot of paperwork for me. So all right, do you guys have any questions for me?
So is your power just goat?
I mean, basically, yeah.
Is that like useful?
Oh yeah.
I can be a goat.
Cool.
Yeah. Really? Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of, let's go through and see your power sets. Jupiter, if you want to start, tell me what you can do. I mean, I have it all written down, but you know, I'd like to hear it from you.
Okay. It's easier just to show you. And so she will transform into a goat first. And then back into like a person, but just looks completely different from her. Just like a blonde, like, you know, 20-something-year-old girl, just completely just random.
Mhm.
And then she'll turn into a rhinoceros and then back into herself.
Hell yeah. Is that it? You just got the shape shifting and the flying?
Yeah, you're not really close enough to me to smell it, but she'll like walk a little bit closer to him and just he'll get hit with like
Oh,
the pheromone.
all right. That's boss. Have you figured out the best way to use those yet?
No. Not I'm not supposed to use them here for what they were originally intended for, so I'm still figuring it out.
Don't want to know. But that's why I'm here. I'm going to help you guys figure out the best way to use your powers and the best way to, like, optimize your working together and all that sort of fun stuff. Why don't you, sorry, is it, Billy?
Yes, yeah, Billy. Yes, Mr. Kid, the kid, that's right.
Why don't you, show me what you can do?
Okay. And Billy clearly takes a few calming breaths first, and he's just going to start with something very small and simple. And
Mhm.
so everyone sees him just kind of like take a finger in the air and trace it, and it just creates like a simple ball of light. And so I've got these, these simple things that I've, practiced a whole bunch, and I can do them right every single time.
All
And
right.
there is some stuff that I can do, but it's I have to try a lot harder, and it doesn't always work out exactly the way I want it to.
Well, you gotta practice. That's what makes perfect, That's what they say. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, awesome, Mr. Burns. Miss Nancy, why don't you show me what you got?
In the midst of that, I think while Nancy's going, Sophia just leans over and is like, "That was really good, Billy."
Thanks. Yeah, I was practicing that one all night to make sure it didn't, wasn't too bright or anything.
Yeah, you're a big nerd. I know. That was great.
So instead of Nancy telling him what she can do, she does her little memory manipulation and changes his memory of her walking in as a goat herself with
Oh,
white hair.
kind of like shakes his head. Whoa. Is that you? Is that what you just did?
Yep, that's part of it. And like whatever writing, is there like a desk with writing utensils or anything on it?
If you want there to be one, you can like type something in the wall panel to summon one.
Yeah, so I do that, and then I think I chose telekinesis. So I just take like just random objects and I just move them around the room.
Oh. Very
Like,
nice.
it's me.
All right, Miss Sophia.
Mine's pretty simple. Sophia is going to do like one big leap because legs super strong, and sort of go very fast around the room, gather up all of the objects that Nancy was throwing around, and then when she's got like a big heavy pile, just like scoops a big hand underneath it, just lifts it up.
Damn. Perfect for cleanup crew. I got it. All right, cool. Well, it's awesome.
I'm also a 3rd-degree black belt.
Oh, hell yeah. So you're the front facing fighter. Have you guys kind of figured out what your like go-to fighting style is? Like what when you're working as a group, what you're gonna be doing?
I imagine I'd be more towards the back in most situations.
I usually distract and cause chaos.
Always
I'm
good.
trained in 6 different kinds of martial arts.
Front facing fighter.
I just try and help out where I'm needed.
All right. Lots of support in this group, and I dig that. You know what? I'm kind of like, I'm excited to see what you can do. I'm excited to like hear about it, but I kind of want to see it. So you guys want to like show me what you got? Want to go into a situation and see what we're doing?
Absolutely.
All right. Fuck yeah. All right. So let me boot something up for you. And you see him walk over to the wall, and he kind of just hits the panel, and the rune begins to like physically shift. You feel like your feet kind of move as the floor changes from this tiled workspace to a concrete. There are walls change into the sides of buildings as this room becomes a street and a city, and it's hard to tell what is fake and what is real. But again, it is a very big room. You see before you there are people running down the street towards you, screaming. And at the end of the street, you see a masked villain, which you would all know. They are wearing a sort of full metal outfit. It is like black with gold insets. There are he's got tubes coming from his helmet, and you see before you Professor Nemesis, who is a well-known superhero. You know that he uses dark magic, and he begins at the end of the street. He's sort of floating forward, and you can hear this sort of mechanical laugh coming from him. So, we are going to start combat. Now, to start combat, we are going to start with the team pool. Did we decide who is keeping charge of team pool? No. Who would like to keep, who wants to be in charge of team pool? You just have to like mark it off and keep a number together, basically.
I can do it, though I don't see a handout for it in Roll20.
No, I can make that.
I don't know if you've already made one or...
All players can be edited. All right. All right, so I'm gonna... All right, you should have access to that.
Yes.
All right, cool. So at the beginning of the game, you start with 1. You add it for each session. You guys need to pick a leader for this fight. Who do you think is in charge at
I
this?
feel like Sophia would probably be in charge
Okay.
most of the time.
All right. Sophia,
Laughs maniacally.
do you have influence over every other teammate?
I don't think I have influence over names here. No, I do not.
Okay. Does everyone have
I'll get there.
Does everyone have the same purpose in this fight?
Yeah, defeat what's his nuts.
Yeah. All right. So add 1 to the team pool. Do any of the team members distrust the leader? No. Okay. Is your team ill prepared or off balance? Nope. All right. Cool. Well, yeah. You're in the training room. You're going to do training. So you're starting out with 2. Is that correct?
Well, don't we get more for going into combat to begin with? If I'm remembering that correctly.
Si possible. When you enter about... Oh, yes, you add 2. Sorry.
Okay.
That was the
like,
first line that I didn't read.
Gotcha, because I was like, that's a very
That
small
seems,
amount
yeah,
of
that seems
team.
low. So you're going to have 4.
So 4.
Yes.
Yep, 4 starting off. All right. You can use your team pool to help each other to add to rolls throughout the battle. So let's get into it. This is a narrative combat. There is no order in which you guys go in. Basically, you guys tell me what you want to do. We'll decide what you're going to roll for it. And then you roll for it. We'll see what happens. And you'll either hurt the villain or do something else. And then the villain will get to do something that is part of their playbook. So, good? All right. Who wants to go first?
Can I ask a question of the rest of the team? Since like in fiction we have fought together before. Because Sophia's probably really familiar with her power sets. Savvy's not so much. So is there, since we do have like kind of a big support spread, like is there any trend of like you guys doing any like buffs or like support before I go punch everything? Because otherwise I'll just go punch everything. But
Don't know that we necessarily have specific supports or like specific buffs to apply.
that's fine. Because I don't know what you like move wise, what everybody has, but
Yeah, I don't
can
have
curious.
this.
I can fix things after, and I can make
Perfect.
something exciting happen in the middle if you need something.
Okay. Just wanted
I
to
can
get a
give
feel
you
for
like some crazy alien weapon built with something around me to be like, go
Dangerous.
punch it with this.
That's dangerous. Yeah, okay. Just trying to get a feel for like the rhythm. So then our rhythm is probably Sophia rushes in and everybody else is like, oh God. Here we go.
I can
Since
be a
do-
rhinoceros and rush in with you.
That's fun.
Since I can do memory manipulation, I might try to. I don't know how this would work. If I try to change the memory of whatever we're fighting to like loving memories of us.
I think that would depend on the role.
Can you make Professor Nemesis think he's our dad?
That would have to be a good role.
Or like,
That's a lot of history.
oh yeah.
Yeah, you just have to think about their purpose in the fight and their like I mean, you know that Professor Nemesis is like a bad guy and he's always been a bad guy. So like him having loving memories might be a little bit more difficult for him to take root than like a normal person just because of his disposition.
Okay.
Whereas like someone who is like a hero maybe would not have that same level of difficulty because they're like nice to people in general. So
Yeah.
that's something to think about too.
So
It's
if
not impossible, but
You can
Would
make
he
him
have-
think we one-on-one really good date with you.
I know.
Ew.
Villains need love too.
you're 17.
Would he have any
Doesn't
memory
need to be
of us?
her though.
Sorry. Go ahead,
Would he
Tanya.
have any? He wouldn't have any memory of us whatsoever. Anyways, would he?
Well, he is a construct in this situation. He is not physically real. But no, I mean he probably has all the same like inputs as the real
'Cause
guy.
I was thinking the only thing I'd try to manipulate in that case is that we're just nobody to him. Like
Mm-hmm.
he could
Like
not care less,
yeah.
and we can't hurt him. Like
Could I offer a suggestion?
yes,
This is more like combat based, but like if I'm like gonna run at him and do some stuff, could you make him forget where I was? So he thinks
Oh,
I'm coming
Mhm.
from somewhere else?
yes, yes. I love that idea.
If I'm
So-
charging him as a hippopotamus, you could make him think that it's a mouse.
Like just forget.
Okay.
Just forget for a second so we catch him off guard.
So that'll kind of be part of what I will do then is just try to create confusion when I can and try to, yeah, that's an awesome idea. I like that.
All
He's
right.
going to be doing a lot of charging his flares and seeing how that goes. So, that
Yeah, and
could
I'll try to
go.
fling cars at him and stuff too. But
Sophia's gonna be real dramatic about this.
It's time to show off. You guys kind of look over and where Billy was standing, or I'm sorry, his name's not Billy, the kid, where the kid is standing. You see nothing. You see him up about, I don't know, 15 stories up, like standing in a windowsill, kind of with his legs crossed, leaning against the window as he watches you guys begin. So begin!
So I guess I'm gonna take point. Sophia's going to sort of rear back almost in like a runner's stance, like right before a race, and then sort of like use her upper body strength and her legs, like launch herself forward and just take off running. And like I think she runs real hard, like when she goes like super strength run, I think she probably like leaves like prints in the ground. And I want to, you said we're in like on like a city street, right?
Yep.
Okay, I want to sort of run and climb sort of very quickly up the side of one of the buildings near Professor Nemesis, and then like Macho Man from the top rope, just like big giant elbow down on top of him.
All
and
right.
while she's doing that, I want him to think that she's coming from like behind him, so he turns.
All right, so you are going to be using your, I need the right tab up. Nancy, you are trying to manipulate his mind, correct?
Yeah.
Which is not, I'm thinking Monster of the Week. You are trying to, Would you say you're trying to defend him? Or defend Sophia by doing this?
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and roll Savior.
Okay. I click the button.
What are you doing?
Situational bonus penalty 0.
No, nothing right now. Whoop. Ooh. That is a 6. That's a miss, but we
Did I
do
do
have
it
team
right?
in the pool. You did.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see on the first page, on the far left of the right. So the right tab, there is a little bubbles at the top, that speech bubbles. That's
Yeah,
where, okay.
It doesn't show me like what it's rolling exactly. But...
If you hover over the 6.
Oh, okay, cool.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that is a miss, but we have team in the pool. If someone wants to offer a point to make it a partial success, or
I don't know. For this one, I don't know that we really need to.
okay. So if you miss, it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't do the thing. So you kind of reach into the mind of. Does it look like anything when you use your powers?
I'll say when I use the memory thing, you see like my eyes kind of. You don't know if they rolled back in my head or if they just kind of went white for a second. And it doesn't take me very long. It's probably like 10 seconds while this is happening while I try to like implant this in his brain.
All right. You reach into his mind and you see him sort of as he's watching Sophia run up this building. His eyes kind of blink and he shakes his head. Sophia, go ahead and you're directly engaging a threat. So why don't you roll me a danger, please?
Heck yeah.
Let's do it. All
Yeah,
right.
thanks.
So for directly engaging a threat, on a 10 plus, you pick 2. On a 7 to 9, you pick 1, which is resist. I know you know this, but I'm just going to say it for the stream. Resist or avoid the blows, take something from them, create an opportunity for your allies, impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
I would like to create an opportunity for my
Okay.
allies. So hoping that at this point I've sort of driven my elbow into his face
Mhm.
and hoping that it's sort of all eyes on me right now.
All right.
So maybe he's not paying attention to them.
All right, you do that, and as you inflict this blow upon him, he takes a condition, and in doing so, he is going to sort of did you say you were hanging on to him, or you went through him, sort of past him?
I think past him and like landed next to him. So she's sort of like 1v1 me, bro.
Yeah. So you see him kind of take a step back and look upon you, and like, well, he's wearing a mask, so it's hard to tell what's going on in his head, but he seems slightly confused by what just happened. The fact that this Nancy's thing plus your thing is kind of like throw him off a little bit. He's a little off his game, which is giving an opportunity for the next person. Who's up? What are you gonna do?
Oh, me. I'm going to transform myself into him. And I'm going to yell at him, be like, hey, who are you? You look like me, provoking someone.
That sounds exactly like provoking someone.
Yeah.
So why don't you go ahead and roll your superior?
Do. If I can figure out how to do that. Hit 9.
9. All right. On a 7 to 9, you can. Well, let's see. Let me read the whole thing because I usually just skip to the end. When you provoke someone, you try to get them to do. What are you trying to get him to do right now?
Be super distracted for what I'm assuming will be Billy's attack.
Okay.
Next.
All right, so you want to. Okay, that makes sense that you would gain a critical opportunity as they as Professor Nemesis. Yeah. Not Dr. Doom, Professor Nemesis. He, he sort of looks from Sophia over to Jupiter, sees himself, and he begins to walk towards Jupiter. He floats towards Jupiter with a hand raised. Next up, Belly, what would you like to do?
Yes, so I would like to start by charging up my flares.
Yeah.
So roll to chart. When you charge up your powers, roll plus conditions. I currently have none, so this is just a straight 2d6. Okay, so on a hit, hold 3. On a 7 to 9, mark a condition. So I get 3, and I am going to take insecure because Billy's, like, oh, we're showing off for a watcher. This is important. But so with that, then seeing all the work that everyone has done to set things up for this, I'm gonna go ahead and just pull out the big guns and do a reality storm. So you channel a destructive burst with your powers. Spend 1 burn to directly engage a threat using your powers, rolling plus freak instead of plus danger. And then I can spend another burn to reduce collateral damage if I wish, which going to do that to start off.
All right.
So roll plus freak. Oh dear. Even with my plus 3, that's a 6.
All right.
It's training. I'm gonna go ahead and take the miss.
Okay. So as you were attempting to, what does it look like? Describe it to me again.
It's the reality storm is probably a little bit different every time. It's basically a big unleashing of magical energy, whether it's summoning things out of midair or just sending like a big fireball or something. But some big magical attack, and I think it probably whizzes way past, like just does the like cool guy dodge, and it goes whizzing past, and you see it explode, relatively harmlessly off in the distance.
You see it move past Sophia as well. You, Billy, are very conscious of your watcher. You see him up there sort of he's on his phone, and you see him kind of like dictating into his phone.
Also, Billy would have taken off his glasses when the fighting started.
Ooh.
But...
All right. Professor Nemesis is moving towards Jupiter, and he begins to monologue. He says, "You filthy children, I will have this world and all that contained within it. You will all bow before me. You will all die." It is very bombastic, very much Professor Nemesis, all about the everyone's gonna die, taking over the world sort of thing. And I would like you guys to, as he does this, you feel your bones kind of start shaking. And it's not just his words, because you guys have heard this before. Obviously he says the same thing every time. But the presence of him, and as Billy would know about the dark magics, he has imbued magic within his words. So, unless you have something, I would like everyone to mark a condition for me, and I would like you to mark afraid. As he continues to float towards Jupiter. All right. Who is going next?
I'm going to yell at him and then at my friends. And the first thing I'm going to say is, dude, I've heard better speeches on a low budget internet series. And then I'm going to yell at my friends, hey, you guys are better than this guy. There's no way that this wannabe supervillain is going to beat you 3 and me. Please get a life, find a new job. And that will be, I can roll when I'm comforting and supporting my friends, plus freak to help clear a condition for them.
All right, kill it. Let's roll.
Do I have a situational bonus or penalty because of being afraid?
It'll give you no, not being afraid gives you a -2 to directly engaging a threat.
Ooh, I missed.
Oh, that is a miss. That's a
That's a-
4. Double snake eyes.
Damn.
We're getting so much potential.
I know, yeah. So make sure you guys, if you fail to roll, mark potential. That's the bottom left of your sheet.
Sorry, my
Oh,
speech
no.
sucked.
What?
Just for your own role, right?
Yes.
Okay. And
Um,
like, since Jupiter has influence over me, does that pertain to this at all right now?
it I feel like if she was doing it for just one person, would that count? Does that make
Almost
sense?
certainly, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
Okay.
how you would rule it for a group effect like this. It's up to you as the GM.
Yeah, I would say unless you have influence over everyone.
No, I only have influence over Billy and Nancy.
Okay.
Okay.
If you try to do a group thing, I would say you have to have influence over everyone to get the +1. That
Sounds
goes
good.
for anyone. For that sort of thing. If it's an individual, like you're hyping someone up, then you can take the +1. Alex and Savannah, the opening up the if someone gave a critical
That opportunity Sophia gave us earlier.
yeah, that's not like a +1 or anything like that.
It
is
can be.
Okay.
It's kind of
Up to
up to you.
okay. Cool. I was just looking at it. It doesn't. The rules for this game, like when you read it as the DM, it's very like, yeah, they get an opportunity. I'm like, is that mechanically like a +1? I need to know.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, whatever you feel like. All right, cool.
Yeah, I was looking up how much radical shapeshifting means, and
Yeah.
it means whatever the fuck I want it to mean.
Exactly.
Which is
Yes.
hilarious.
Yeah. All right.
Trying to
Do
get
we,
some-
do we each just get like one turn?
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter what order.
No. So, yeah, Jupiter gives off this wonderful. It sounds great, but mechanically, it just sounds good. She looks great. And you guys can still see that Professor Nemesis is walking towards Jupiter, or floating towards Jupiter. So she is about to be in danger. Oh, but before we do that, let's do a Megathorp, guys. Thank you, Necro. Or the
I have
Raven.
to do a baby one because I have pugs on my lap and they're
Oh, that's okay.
freak out.
Don't disturb the babies. Okay.
Oh.
In 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Thank you for that, Megathorp. Raven, we appreciate you being here. All right. So, next up, who's gonna go next?
Well, I feel like since Nancy's afraid, she might kind of freak out and try to just fling a car at
Sure.
him.
Yeah. All right. So that is going to be well, are you super strong? No, you have
The telekinesis? or is it
telekinesis. Okay,
crazy?
yeah, perfect.
So I want to like fling a car and then just like fucking run away. And so to clear afraid, it's run from something difficult.
All right, that's
So,
fair. I'm gonna say
after I do.
to clear that condition, you're going to have to check out of the fight.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay. Does that make sense to the other
Yeah.
GMs who do this? Like, okay, cool. I don't want to be unfair, but that's how it makes sense to me. Like, you can't just like run away and then come right back. So yeah, if you want to directly engage this threat, go ahead, roll danger, please.
Okay. And situational bonus penalty. Do I have to manually add the -2 for being afraid?
I don't think
The
so. Not on these
sheets do it
sheets.
The
Yeah.
automatically.
sheets, yeah, the sheets will calculate
Mhm.
any condition.
Okay.
Yo, they're doing so bad.
It's the first day, guys. You're being judged. You're being watched. I
I'm
understand.
nervous.
And you're
It's okay, I
nervous.
get to mark a potential, so that's good. So I miss.
So yeah, you toss this car across. You see it flinging. And Sophia, it doesn't come really close to you, but like close enough that it makes you a little nervous. And Nancy, you see it kind of. You totally think it's gonna hit him, but because of like the angle of his floating and like all that, it's just a little out of the way. It kind of like cuts his shoulder, but he continues forward like a badass.
Okay, I tried.
All right, you did good. Next,
Tina's really into this.
oh Tina. No, I
Being
can't.
silent. Okay.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
remember.
Tina, do you have anything to add? No? Okay. All right. Who wants to go next?
I'm just gonna bull rush this fool since he's floated away from me.
Like a china shop. Let's go. You're gonna directly engage this threat?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. That is a hit.
That's a 7. Okay.
All right.
So yeah, I'm gonna throw my shoulder into his back.
Mhm.
I would like to impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
Ooh, okay, perfect. So you do this. You do surprise him. If that makes sense to you, because he didn't realize that you were coming so quickly up on him. As you hit him, you are going to impress a condition upon him. And in doing so, he is going to try to, he sort of moves his hands in a very mechanical way, but as he does, there is a black ichor that sort of falls from them and forms a whip. And as you run into him and he reels forward a little bit, he whips back with this, and I'd like you to take a powerful blow, please.
I would like to attempt to protect her from this.
Do it.
So I'm going to use my last burn on my shielding
Okay.
so that I can roll plus freak instead of plus savior. And because I have influence over Sophia, I get an additional +1.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an 11.
All right.
Yay.
So when you that is perfect. You are defending someone. You can add a team to the. Well, you have if you roll 7 and 9, you expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation. But you rolled a 11.
Yeah. So on a hit, you keep them safe and choose
Mhm.
one.
Yep. Okay, so you can either add a team to the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition.
Or actually, hold on, because I'm looking at the sheet because I do have insecure, which I guess would have made this would have done a -2 to this roll.
Did it not?
Well, because
Oh.
I rolled with freak instead of savior because of my move. But
Yeah.
it does say conditions do not affect active moves. But we also had that conversation before. Like, are these active moves for the Nova?
Mm-hmm.
My burns and flares?
I mean, that makes sense to me because that's all you can do, right?
Okay, so we're good with not imposing that penalty on this roll?
Sure.
Okay, so then with my full hit, I would like to clear a condition. I'm going to go ahead and clear Afraid.
Okay.
And so I think with the shielding, basically Billy shoots out like a wall of light that just interposes itself between Sophia and the darkness whip right before it would have hit her.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
He's just like, "You okay, Sophia?"
Sophia turns as it sort of like flies past her, hair flowing in the wind, and just winks in slow motion.
The ears flowing back a little bit. So
Someone needs to stop me.
no, I refuse.
We're
So
all enablers here.
Professor Nemesis floats up as he is in the middle of this group and looks upon you guys, and his voice becomes very deep. His eyes, the red begins to glow in this deep, dark red. His hands begin to shift into these black ichor, this goo that is this darkness that is dripping off of him, and he begins to shout into the sky, "You will be nothing but ash when I am through with you." And you see his body begin to light up, and you guys have seen him do this before on TV. This is his disintegration move, where he can create like craters basically and destroy everything in his path. And you just see like Billy, or fucking his name's not Billy. I keep seeing Billy on the screen. The kid, you see the kid sort of up there leaning against the wall, and he goes, "Oh shit," and he like moves over to the wall and starts like hitting buttons, and the simulation begins to power down as you see Professor Nemesis sort of like pixelate and fade away. Billy moving very quick, or fucking the kid moving very quickly and nimbly down this the side of a building. He lands on the ground and sort of like puts his phone in his pocket and goes, "That wasn't bad, guys."
Is everyone okay?
Jupiter's gonna shift back into herself.
That was interesting.
Sorry, bumped it up too far there. It's just get like I didn't mean to put him up to his like normal level. I was trying to keep him low, but the have shifted it. It's fine.
Okay.
I got some good notes though, but I think we should all take a break, grab some water, grab a snack. And as we're gonna do that in real life. So everyone, thank you everyone who's watching. Thank you to my players. We'll get right back into this. I just don't want to go too much later. Normally we'll break at about 1:45 before we get out of it. So thank you guys for watching. We'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes, and don't go nowhere. We'll see you in a sec. Bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the stream. We've had our bio break, and we are refreshed, have our beverages. We're ready to get back into it, and as we do, you guys are being debriefed by the kid. He he stands there, but he says if you want to sit down, he creates 4 chairs for you guys to sit. And before we do that, we're going to do a mega thwarp. Get out your fans. Get your double hands ready. In 3, 2, 1. Thank you for that redemption, Cal. Good to have you here. Good to hang out. It's good to get a chat. So you guys have chairs available as used to sit down as you wish. He is standing because he is only 3 feet tall.
Is he all hooves, like just a full-on goat?
Yeah, he is a goat. He does have shoulders as opposed to like he has like bipedal shoulders where his arms are in front of him. But he is he looks like he has a goat face. He has hooves. But there is some ability for him to use phones. Oddly enough.
Is he like a goat standing on his hind legs? Like,
Yes.
But upper body more. Okay.
Yeah. But
I
he's
get it.
wearing a cardigan.
Okay.
But does
Like a
not have
satyr.
hands, so he is not like Phil or Mr. Tumnus.
Correct. He is not a satyr. He is a goat.
Okay.
With the slightly square eyes and all of that. All right, do you guys want to give me any notes before you get in? Before I tell you what I saw?
Yeah, can you not try to disintegrate us next time?
I do have that down. We're not. That's
Cool.
I did stop it before it got too far. Not that it could actually really hurt you guys or kill you that hard. But
That hard?
what? It's fine. There are restrictions on what it can do, so it's like it's fine.
It's not the first time a training exercise has almost killed me.
Anyways, anything you think you can improve on?
I mean, aside from Sophia, none of us really were able to hit him with anything. So I guess work on our aim.
All right, aim. Do you think anything else was involved in that? Focus, determination.
I think as much as I don't want to admit it in front of everybody, I maybe was a bit nervous, and hopefully that's why I kept missing all my shots.
Well, you're in a training situation. That's why we have these. And, when we get out there, we're going to take it slow. I'll be there every step of the way. But I appreciate that you can admit that about yourself. That's a good thing.
Thank you.
It's a good
I'm
first step.
still not very good at working as a team.
It's gonna take some practice, I think.
I'm just used to doing things myself. So I think when I was trying to be supportive, it didn't work very well because I'm used to just supporting myself.
You did draw his attention to you, and that's important.
Get you. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. I got pug problem.
Got 99 problems, but a pug ain't one. Anyone else? Notes for teammates, notes for yourself?
I mean, I pretty much did what I set out to do, so
I will take note that you did damage the street and the building when you jumped on it, but that's within acceptable limits. I just want you to be conscious of that when you're out there.
I mean, it was less than I would have blown up the stuff if I hadn't been focusing so hard on it.
Yeah, you did destroy a building. Well, at least a storefront back there. That's a big ding.
Yeah, it could have gone a lot worse. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's why we practice. Do you guys do any training outside of school?
Oh yeah, all the time.
I practice quite a bit, but my abilities I can practice without being in a fight situation, luckily.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, you can practice together too. Now that you're a full-fledged team, you can come up with like playbooks or like things that you can do, sort of like a 1-2 punch. It's good to think about your powers and your friends' powers as like, cogs in a wheel. No, wheels in a big machine. Cogs in a big machine. So you can bounce your ideas off of your friends, or you see them doing something cool and you think, oh my gosh, I can do this certain thing off of it. So that's always good to think about. Yeah? All right.
He's writing down all the metaphors and like crossing them out when kids like, wait, no.
All right. Since it's our first day, and I'm going to see you guys tomorrow anyways, because, first day of going out on the streets. Do you guys want to go grab like lunch? You can tell me more about your lives so we can get to know each other better.
Did you have notes for us, or did I miss that part?
I was kind of like peppering them in as we went.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm a little slow sometimes.
That's all right. I mean, the only thing I had for you is that you almost hit your teammate with a car, and that's kind of a no good thing. But you didn't, so that's a plus.
I could probably take a car.
You could.
Me too. Depending on what I am.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate that.
Boss.
It wasn't like a whole house or anything. So.
Nah. That would be
Not this time.
Like the Wicked Witch.
Can I pick up a house?
I don't know.
Tiny
Should we go
home?
try?
maybe like a trailer that would stay together.
We'll have to practice that sometime, Sophia. See if I can pick one up and see if you can pick one up.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. You guys like ramen?
Yep.
All right. He leads you out of the training center. There is nary a scratch on this place as you exit. He takes you into town with his car, which is a sort of a Ford Focus type deal. You see that it is very fit to his abilities. There are like little it's a smaller wheel, and there are like little spots where he can like put his hooves in to sort of drive it. And the seat is high. The pedals are close to his feet, so he can use them. He actually uses 1 foot for the brake and 1 foot for the gas. But you guys arrive at the ramen house, which is I didn't name. It's a good name for
Nudes.
ramen. Nudes. Nudes. You guys arrive at Nudes, which is now what it's called. Hold on.
With a Z.
Yep.
N-O-D-Z.
Yep. Ramen House Nudes.
And you said you weren't good at naming stuff.
Oh, I can do puns all day, but coming up with people names, that's
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Alex is the pun master.
It's true.
every hero or villain in the Masked Aim I Run for LB is a pun of some kind.
Mm-hmm. All right. You guys arrive, take your seat. He is given a booster seat, but he also brings his own so that he is actually at eye level with you guys. This is a world in which it is pretty. There are a lot of different types of people, different sizes, different shapes. So it is not unusual for someone his size to be here. He is able to get a spot. You guys order your food, and he's like, all right, well, I guess to get to know you guys better, I can tell you a little about myself. I wanted to be a hero because my dad was really into it. He's known as the Black Sheep. He's pretty well known, but mostly in the eastern continents. Some of you might know Black Sheep is basically, in my head canon, it's the Satan statue where it is a goat head with the two horns, black fur, goat-like face. He is well known for being sort of a very serious hero, but not snobbish. He will take pictures with people. He will sign, if he must, autographs. And I just kind of wanted to get it. I wanted to do something more like my speed, which I think I'm gonna like go into teaching, or kind of like work with younger people about stuff, and like do a little bit of hero work on the side. I don't really want to be one of like the top 5 or something like that. I don't have aspirations like that. But what about you guys? Why did you get into hero work? Why do you want to strive to be the best of the best?
Well, I mean, I don't know about best of the best. I mean, the top 5 are pretty entrenched, but I mean, want to help people, and we can all do amazing things. And it just seems like I mean, obviously it's everyone's choice to get into heroing or not, but we can do really good things if we train and work hard and put our minds to it.
Yeah, most of us have a choice.
I do it because Ed McMahon must die. Well, he
The-
must
that's
not die.
fair.
The guy from the TV?
Yeah, he doesn't need to die, but my goal in life is to ruin his life. So, yeah, that's what drives me.
He kind of looks at the rest of you, like, and taking in the fact that no one's surprised by this. And he goes, okay, I'll bite. Why? What did he do to you?
He came to my grandpa's, the retirement home that I spent a lot of time in, with a giant check saying he won. And grandpa was super, super excited, and we thought our lives were going to change. And then he changed his mind. Apparently, we didn't qualify. Like, he didn't do his research first. Fucking big man. But yeah. It's just like, yeah, that's basically it.
That's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Side note, would this count? Because I want to spread hate about Ed McMahon around the world as my nemesis. So would this count as me getting slightly closer to my goal, or do I need to do something bigger?
I think because you're in an intimate setting like this, he's getting to know you. That does count. Again, I don't think yelling at someone on the street is going to have the same effect. But this is having, you are explaining your life to someone else. So, yes, I would say that is a good one.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. So, you said you don't have a choice in your hero work?
No, I mean, you know my mom, so
Oh, yeah, she works at the school, right?
yeah. Super radical.
But you don't want to be hero?
I mean, it wasn't my first choice, but I'm here, so.
Well, what are you going to do when you graduate? I mean, you can't live under your parents' shadow forever.
I'm gonna wrestle.
You're going to wrestle? Like the show?
She's really good.
Do you
Very
do that already?
Yeah, amateur on the side.
Very cool. Do you do like teams or just like basic stuff?
No, mostly solo shows.
Cool. What's your performer name?
Nemia.
Oh. Is there a reason behind that? Oh.
Like the lion.
Yeah. Sorry. It's a very populated area. Jupiter, what about you?
Oh, I'm here by accident.
The school?
Yeah. Well, originally I'm here by accident, but then they changed my orders, so now I get to stay.
Well, I know you're an alien, so like okay. So you just want to like be a hero because why not?
Well, I can't be what I was supposed to be here. It's not allowed and
Lord.
frowned upon.
What are you supposed to be?
Oh, well, my whole training from like the time I started, well, I didn't really go to like normal school like most kids because I was designed to be a Solari assassin.
Oh. So you got a bunch of fight training that way. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. So, lots of like martial arts stuff and all those things that, go along with like being an assassin. But I'm not supposed to kill people here. It's not allowed on this planet.
Correct. But you got all the inside of being like a super spy, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That'll work out well for us if we get sent on a mission where we need to like find out information about people.
Oh yeah, I'm good at that.
All right. See, I'm trying to get a feel for you guys and what you can do and what you're gonna be what's gonna best suit you basically.
You
So
guys told me that everybody would think it was really weird if I just announced that I was supposed to be an assassin.
I mean, to people who aren't in the hero business, yeah, it certainly would be, but it's also, not too surprising in these circles, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I was okay with it.
Yeah, but your grandpa's friend thought it was like really weird and he thought I was like a Russian spy.
Yeah, they're old.
Yeah.
They think the worst about things sometimes.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm not a Russian spy, I'm an alien spy, but I'm not spying right now,
Yeah. No, they get it now. Around the home, they all love you now. You're good.
Yeah. But at first, he did not trust me.
if you were a spy that was spying here, you wouldn't say that you were a spy, right?
Right, exactly. I wouldn't just announce it. That wouldn't be very
No.
spy-like.
No.
Or would she announce that she was a spy to throw us off the trail and make us think surely she's not spying because she's saying she's spying?
Ooh.
Oh,
True.
the double deception. I dig it.
I watched a lot of Alias reruns.
Oh, that's a good one. I'll have to add that to my list. And she like
Alright.
literally pulls out a notebook that's like a physical like list of things that she's supposed to watch.
All right. Well, I guess if we're talking about hero work, my favorite heroes are EMP. They're fucking amazing. Of course, the Tempest. She's so hot, and the Conductor. He's more of like, he's a conductor. He conducts the battles and all that. It's just they're so cool. I got to meet him once. They came to our school. It was just really like I had like a fan goat moment. So, anyways. Who are your favorite heroes? Like, what do you like to do? Or who do you like to watch and root for out in the world?
I like Bubble Pop was probably my favorite.
Ah,
I just figured, given my situation, I'm probably gonna die a lot sooner than other people. So the idea of maybe being reanimated by Bubble Pop sounds pretty cool.
and Bubble Pop is the. I guess I should go over the top 5 heroes for chat. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I made up a list of the top 5 heroes in the world. Of course, EMP is the top. They're the number 1 and 1.5, as the Tempest likes to say. They're siblings. She calls her brother 1.5 because the top 5 is technically a top 6. Just EMP counts as 1 because they are amazing and they work together all the time. They have electric energy powers. The Conductor will absorb electricity and put it into the Tempest, who will has magnetic magnetic manipulation. She can use that electricity to gain the power of flight and strength and all that cool stuff. So number 2 is Bubble Pop. Her ability is to speak with the dead. She has she's like a pop star basically. She's smart and sassy, but she'll talk to people, but she kind of likes to keep to herself. Her ability is to control the dead, and so she is very powerful. She can create armies if needed, and she can control spirits to get information. So she's kind of one of those heroes that like comes in when like something big's happening and then immediately leaves afterwards because she's so popular and sought after. Number 3 is Big Boy. He has density control. He can control the distance between his own molecules. He is like 8 feet tall. That's why he's called Big Boy. He is just a very buff dude. Very happy. Likes to talk to people and like go out in public, like on patrols and stuff. And like as long as there's nothing going on, he'll like sign autographs and talk to people and take pictures and all that sort of stuff. So he's a very happy big boy. Number 4 is Thessalophobia. He has water control abilities. He is the most mysterious of the top 5. He rarely speaks, and most of his hero work is done outside of the public eye. He has the ability to control water in the air as well as in living things, so he can be very dangerous, but he, of course, is a hero, doesn't kill people, but he very easily could by just removing all of the water from their body. Number 5 is Bookworm. That is Book, WYRM. Thank you very much, RJ, for that one. And his ability is super mentality. He looks like basically a dragonborn. He's kind of a gold color. He wears glasses. He's like Beast in this X-Men universe if Beast was a dragon instead. He's super excited. He's super like jolly. He's a very happy guy. He has the ability to remember everything that he reads. So he is good for support and also a good resource for all of the other heroes. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk about the fake top 5 that I made for my game. So continuing, Bubble Pop is Nancy's favorite because she can control the dead, and Nancy's gonna die soon anyways. So she thinks it's cool. I feel like Bubble Pop probably has people who like. I mean, maybe with her agency, she has like the ability for people to sign waivers. So that they like instead of using their bodies for science, she can use their bodies for hero work.
So you can put in your will that you want to be buried, cremated, planted with a tree, or part of Bubble Pop's army.
Exactly.
Part of Bubble Pop, and Nancy would have absolutely made a will given how she grew up and the people she's surrounded.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh no.
Oh,
That was weird.
okay.
I don't know.
Uh,
Well, is everyone here? What's going on?
So
That
it
was
froze
weird.
for me for a second, and now it's jumbling everyone around.
Oh my.
So that was a Zoom thing? That wasn't a me thing, right?
I think
Seems
so,
like
yeah.
it.
I think so.
Can we get some trash fires in chat, please? Okay. Rachel, okay. But that was not me. So, yeah, sorry. Tangent on Bubble Pop. I didn't lose any frames. Yeah, I didn't drop any frames or anything. The stream didn't cut
I think
out,
it was
so.
Zoom because my Zoom window like fully closed and came back.
Yeah.
So
Mine too.
Mine was like,
All right. So back to the conversation at hand. Whose trash fire is that, Raven? Throwing other trash fires in my chat? No, it's fine.
It says
I'm kidding.
hype fire. Is
Oh,
that
it's a hype
Sarah's?
fire. Oh, probably.
you got your trash fire and my trash fire.
That's pretty cool. Why are you gonna die soon?
Oh yeah, because I'm doomed.
Okay.
God,
Do you
I
have
don't
like
even
a
know-
curse or like?
I don't
She
even
says that
know.
a lot, and we're not totally sure.
Ah.
As me, Tanya Roland, the person, I don't even know how to explain it.
Okay.
But
We'll say you do. And if you want to think on it a bit more. It wouldn't allow your trash through.
Automon was like, you can't tell people they're trash.
I
uh,
just saw that too. I was like, wait, why is that flagged? I don't understand. Trash.
it makes
Okay.
sense. I get it. What about the rest of you? Who are your favorites?
I really like Thalassophobia.
Oh yeah, the underwater guy.
Mhm.
He's really creepy.
Yeah, I like that he's mysterious and private.
Yeah. I mean, when you go into hero work, you have to kind of decide if you are going to be the private one or if you're going to have your like identity out there. I mean, everyone knows my name, so it's kind of hard for for me to be out there like having a secret identity because and he kind of just motions to himself.
Goat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus my name is my hero name, so that, works out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I get that to an extent. Most of my family has these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask about that. But yeah, no, Thessalophobia is the coolest. Like, I mean, he's like I've never seen him in person. I feel like if I did, I'd probably like I don't know. I feel like he's like the type of person you kind of like just cry around because they're so scary. Anybody
I
else
feel
get
like we
that?
would get along.
Oh,
I don't know
he
why.
scares the shit out of me.
Oh, maybe it's just because of where I'm from. I'm used to scary people. I'm supposed to be a scary person. That's funny. I scare people where I'm from. That's funny.
You scare us too sometimes.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Oh, I meant it as a compliment.
Oh, good. Usually here, when people say that you're scary, they don't mean it as a compliment. But from you, it's a compliment. Okay. I'll remember that.
Most people are a little afraid of me.
You are very like physically intimidating.
Thanks.
No, Sophie is a bit of a softie once you get to know her. We'll kind of.
Really, you can't tell people that.
Hey,
Sorry.
we're gonna be friends for the next year. I mean, I'll get to know you guys just fine.
I have a brand. Well, I'm working on having a brand.
No, I
I
can
mean, your
help you with that. I've gotten really good at social media.
That makes sense to me somehow.
So I can help you with that.
Okay.
All right, favorite heroes, keep going.
I mean, go ahead.
Big boy.
Oh, have you met him?
Yeah, once actually. Him and my brother worked together really briefly.
Really?
Yeah, he's super cool. Very tall, very strong,
Mm-hmm.
very good in the public eye. So
Oh yeah.
kind of everything I want to be.
Seems like a really nice dude that you like just grab a beer with.
Yeah, you would not believe how many beers that fool can drink.
Damn, I didn't think about that. That's probably true.
He's like 8 feet tall. Plus, he
Oh.
can move all the molecules around.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. You can just make his stomach bigger.
Yeah. He's
Oh.
rad.
Just
Hell
let the
yeah.
beer molecules not get to his liver. And Billy goes into like trying
Oh,
to think
no.
about the science.
Billy-
Oh,
and
no,
Billy.
I gave Billy a science prompt.
Billy, I'm gonna
Billy,
need you
I'm
to come
sorry.
back. I'm gonna need you to come back, buddy.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah, he's really legit though.
Mhm.
He's one of 2 heroes that I actually will like buy merch for.
Hell yeah. What about you?
Oh, well, let's see. I also, certainly respect thalassophobia. Again, for kind of the thing of, power could be, go very bad, but he's the hero, so it doesn't.
He's got to be like a really good dude, right?
One would hope, or we're all screwed.
Yeah.
Finish what you're saying first because I have a science question.
Right. And I also really like Bookworm because I also, do a lot of study myself, and I don't have a perfect memory like him, but I try and know a little bit about everything because it helps with my powers, my magic, and also it helps for when we're doing our studying sessions later to have a little bit of knowledge about everything. I haven't gone to pub trivia because not 21, but I imagine I would be very good at it.
Yeah, maybe as one of our team building exercises, we could do a trivia night.
I'd be really good at the pop culture questions.
That's
That is
thinking.
one area I'm definitely lacking in.
And that's why teammates are important. Do you guys have... Oh, I'm sorry. You were going to say something? Sophia?
Oh, right. So, phobia guy,
Yeah.
because I still haven't figured out how to say his name. So he could just like take all the water out of your body, right?
Uh-huh.
So could he like mess with your blood?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
mean, probably not as well as Vibes can, Johnny Vibes, but definitely to some extent. I mean, if you practiced enough.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's why Johnny Vibes is so cool. I mean, he's literally like super cool. Right, because he like can control people's blood.
Yeah, he's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you say cool, do you mean he like cools down the blood, or not that
No.
literally cool?
Well, a bit of both. Like, if you've actually touched him, his like skin is really cold because he doesn't really have that much blood in his body. He just doesn't need it. But like he's also like very like physically cool, like emotionally cool. Like he's just like wants to be your friend, and like if you're having like a panic attack, he can actually physically like slow down your blood so that, or your slow down your heart so you stop panicking physically. And then he can help with the mental stuff because he has like a PhD in like psychology.
Right, we
It's
get
really
it. You're
nice.
dating the principal.
God, I wish.
He meant literally cool, but not like literally cool.
I just saw Tanya go. That was my response also.
Sophia is on this guy's level.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
we are the same amount of smart. This much.
All right. Well, that's all I have for you guys for today. Is there anything else you want to do? I mean, we were supposed to take a half day anyways because it's the first day.
Sophia's still eating because she eats enough for like 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the super strength. I think her metabolism is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So she's still eating. She's been eating this whole time.
Dang. The kid is picking up the bill. And he's like, now I want ramen.
Same.
So you guys are free to do as you like after this lunch with the kid. You are able to go, where you want. What do you guys want to be doing on your free time this afternoon? It's a Tuesday. We could go back to your dorms, or I mean, you guys can do whatever you want as far as like if you want to stay together, if you want to go do stuff individually. You have your dorms, you have rough drafts, you have other places you can go in town, talk to your the NPCs that you have given me and all of that, or what is the plan?
I think Sophia like tries to dip, but is not subtle. And so just says like, oh, I have a project to work on, and is like real cagey about it.
Was there already homework assigned? Kind of looking at the others.
Oh, it's for a different class that you're not in. It's fine.
Okay.
Are you gonna go do are you gonna do some wrestling training? Do you have a wrestling match? Is that what you're doing? Do you have a wrestling match tonight? Can I come?
No, I don't have it. you know what? It's fine. You don't need to know about all my hobbies. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Walks away. Back to the dorms.
That was weird, wasn't it?
A
Or
little
was
bit.
I the weird one? Did I make it weird?
No. You were just being friendly and asking questions. Everybody has their secrets, though. So as long as you respect that, we're good. And you did. I have some phone calls I need to go make. I'll catch up with you guys later. And Nancy goes, she wants to go back to her dorm and she's going to she's texting Bill Fish. Bill Fish is the personal assistant of Ed McMahon, who is an old family friend. And he is in on the whole process of trying to slowly take him down, but he's also like doing his job because he needs money too. So he just gives little nuggets that can't be traced back to him. And so Nancy just kind of messages Bill like, hey, I'm going to need to do something tomorrow. I mean, I told one of my teachers about him, but I just don't feel like I'm making enough progress. So anything happening tomorrow, give me a shout back. So like Nancy's texting this as she walks away and is just like staring at her phone, hoping for a response.
So, Sophia, Nancy is probably about 100 yards behind you, walking back to the dorms also.
Great.
What are you other two doing?
I'm going to send Sophia a text, even though I can still see her. And I'm going to be like, do you want me to create those social media profiles for you? Sent.
Thinks about it. Yeah, I see nothing that could go wrong with this.
Okay, I will email you all the passwords and all the information later, but we will have to take some pictures tomorrow. Sent.
Great. I'm good at that part.
Bring 5 different outfits. Sent.
5 different outfits.
You can also raid my closet. Sent.
I've got work to do.
Billy, what are you gonna do?
Oh, I mean, it's I don't know, I did have one kind of call to make, but that tends to, the person I'm gonna call keeps late hours. But you mentioned earlier
Oh,
that
no. Everybody froze on my screen.
oh
Our screen.
yeah, we can
Uh-oh.
still hear you. Can you
You
hear
look
us?
good though. Okay, there we go.
Oh,
Zoom, stop.
It says my internet connection is unstable.
yeah, it said that for me earlier. It's probably a Zoom thing.
It's probably
It
a
just
Zoom
popped
thing.
up on mine too.
Yeah,
Everybody froze on me.
Oh.
but
Well, we're almost done. So.
Yeah, so Billy says he has a call to make later, but Jupiter, you said earlier that you don't have much training with team stuff, right? But like it sounds like you're basically a fully trained hero on your own already, yeah? Or
Yeah.
if you
Wait. Hold on. I can't hear you, Alex. I can't hear anyone. Hold on. Zoom. Let me double check that it's going to the right place. My headphones did. Oh
no.
It was my turn. It was my turn to get the internet unstable thing.
Oh no.
All right, we're good now. I
Down.
can hear you guys.
Okay.
okay.
But
Yeah.
y'all are frozen. I particularly like Savannah's face.
Fine. I was so frustrated.
Yeah.
It's a
all-
feature. It's a
yeah.
new feature.
All that to say, Billy is so we don't have the full team here, but do you want to maybe go back and do some more combo training? I mean,
Yeah.
before we only did observe and report, but now we're going to be doing actual hero stuff. So we gotta start somewhere, right?
Yeah. I'd like to get better at like shape-shifting really quickly and dodging while I'm shape-shifting. So like you could like shoot things at me while I'm moving and doing smaller shapes and things, trying to dodge things.
Yeah, and I can work to, well, I'll make sure I don't actually hit you, but
Mhm.
I'll try and not, uh, yeah, yeah,
Open a
sounds good.
portal into the emptiness of space again.
Yeah, I'll try my best, but there's
It's
no
okay if you do.
guarantees. Okay. Sorry again about that.
It's all right. If anybody was going to survive it, it would be me.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's rude to send your friends into deep space with no warning, at least.
Well, weirder things happen on my planet all the time.
Oh dear.
I mean, when I ended up here on accident, it's just lucky that I didn't end up like in a sun or something.
Does that happen often?
Not that often, but we've had people end up like inside of walls, like in the places that they were supposed to be going.
Oh, that sounds unpleasant.
Yeah, things glitch. I mean, mine was my fault because I shouldn't have hacked my transporter to like store episodes of my favorite shows on. That was probably my fault. That's probably why it glitched. But shh, don't tell them.
Okay.
But yeah, we can go do some more practice.
All right. I'm trying to think because I do have. No, Billy's not going to do this yet. But there's a thing I could do to teleport us back, but it could get messy with the burns and flares.
Yeah. Do you have any conditions to clear?
Currently, I'm insecure, and to clear that, I have to take foolhardy action without talking to a team. So maybe that could do
I was
it.
gonna say.
Ooh,
Jupiter's the one to do it with. She would not be
Yeah.
surprised or alarmed.
so I think Billy's like, okay, we can get back quickly, but let's, head to the alley first. And then,
You guys shipped over to the alley close by.
yep. So gonna try and charge up my powers.
All right.
And since I have a condition mark, that's actually better for me
Mhm.
now. Okay, that is a hit. Though
Yeah.
on a 7 to 9, I mark another condition. So I think gonna mark guilty. for
Okay,
using powers when
that
he's not
seems like a
supposed
good
to.
one.
But then having done that, so I think you see Billy, kind of focuses, eyes glow. He makes arcane gestures with his hands, and then is gonna create a big sweeping circle um, with his arm, and once the circle is complete, it creates a portal, and spending 2 burns, I can return to any place you've previously been. And so using that, I will get us back to training room 1A.
All right. You are able to do that. Go ahead and take your foolhardy action
Yeah.
and remove insecure. You guys are in training room 1A. Sophia, you are heading back to your dorm. What are you doing?
Well, now she's got more work to do than she initially thought. So Sophia goes into her dorm very quickly, like just opens the door enough so that like she can fit through, and then shuts it, locks the door. Doesn't want anyone in her. Should I say what my dorm looks like?
Yeah, now that we're in here, let's do it.
Yeah, okay. So Sophia has a big nerd dorm. And that's why she locks herself in there all the time. So the dorm is it's a little messy. There's sort of like clothes and stuff, like shoes strewn about. There's like probably like a longboard like propped up against one wall because I think she probably skates for fun. But the walls and her desk and shelves and everything are just covered in memorabilia. It is posters and collectibles and figurines and like comics that are stuck behind things, and like 90% of it is like pro wrestling stuff. And then she's got a couple of posters up and like a couple of like collectibles and stuff that are her brother's stuff that she's clearly like got to support him. And then some big boy merch because she likes him a lot. But it's just covered. And then there's one wall where she has like put up some extra shelves that are all just like belts and like sort of amateur belts and like little trophies and things like that she's won. Um, and she's taken her bed and her desk and kind of just like shoved all of that into one corner. And then taking up like one wall, she has like a weight set and like a bench and stuff that's spread out. And then in the other corner, there's some stuff behind like a screen, like a folding screen, which she pushes to the side and pulls out like a big tote bin, and the stuff behind it, and starts pulling out a bunch of fabric because she's got a sewing machine and like some dress forms that are pushed up into this corner that she's like hidden. And she's got some like half draped costumes on them.
Oh, I love that. So she's gonna start working on some costumes.
Yeah.
Cool.
She doesn't want anybody to know that she sews.
No, obviously not.
I don't think.
But
Yeah, she sits down at a sewing machine and probably does that for way longer than she should and doesn't get that much sleep.
Yeah, you get maybe about an hour into this, you get a text message from Nicholas, who is your brother. You know this. The stream might not. And it just says, "Hope you had a great first day, kid." And then it's a picture of him doing peace sign smile.
She'll stop for a second and sort of turn so like the costumes are behind her and like take a selfie. It's like, no sleep till.
There's just a laughing smile emoji. Nancy, you get a text message back. It's in code because Mr. Fish is very secretive and doesn't want to lose his job. But it will just let you know no movement for now. Will inform soon.
She doesn't even text back to risk anything happening. So she kind of just goes back into her dorm and relaxes and calls her grandpa and fills him in on like everything that happened at school, and then like everything she told the kid about Ed McMahon. Like, I think I got someone else to understand like what a dick he is. Like,
Yeah.
he's the worst.
Yeah, and Grandpa is very much like, hey, you're doing the right thing. We're gonna get him. He's got like, I don't know if you've seen The Order, but I'm very much picturing the Grandpa from The Order. He's got like bulletin boards up with like X's on Ed McMahon's face, and he's just like putting up sticky notes and like writing down notes and all that. I mean, you're on the phone with him, but he is, you know what his room looks like.
Yeah.
It's like he's got a whiteboard that he flips over when people aren't in the room.
Yeah, it's our hobby. And then my dorm room.
Yeah.
Imagine all there's like a decor style now called Grand Millennial, but it's more like, imagine a room where your grandma or your grandparents, like, you just have old hand-me-down furniture. So I have like an old honey oak dresser, and there's like a doily across the top of it with a couple of those cherub knickknacks that one of the old ladies from the home gave me. On my bed, I have a bedspread. It's like white with a bunch of pastel flowers all over it, and like a chair, and the pattern, it's like a 12 pattern, and it's got like deer on it and a little forest thing. So it's just very like a grandma's living room in there.
go. I'm gonna say that Sophia grew closer to the team.
We might not have stream sound.
Chat says they can't hear.
I
us.
was muted. We're doing end of session stuff, and we're doing stars and wishes as well.
Cool. I'm gonna grow closer to the team for Sophia because I think for the most part, now that they're actually getting into like combat training, because that's really what she wants to do, right? Is like the running, jumping, climbing trees, punching things, putting on makeup while you're up there, sort of thing. I keep making the same Eddie Izzard joke over and over. You guys know this?
And we love it.
Running, jumping, climbing trees, putting on makeup while you're up there. I'll send you a clip. Don't worry about it. Tweet me if you know what obscure reference I'm making from 15 years ago. But that's the stuff that she really wants to get into, and she wants to do it with her friends. And so I think there was that rolled nice moment where Billy was like there and present, and like present enough to like protect her from getting hit by something real big. And I think we'll remember that. So I give influence to Billy.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I already have it, so
So you get to do something.
Yes, I shift your labels one up, one down. However, LB, I can't see
We
the
can't
character
see each other's
sheets.
Oh.
sheets. Yeah.
Right, you can't see. Well,
You have to make it so we can edit each other's sheets.
Oh, you want to be okay.
Yeah, because otherwise we
Um,
can't see the
Controller.
actual like character
Oh.
sheet part of it, which
Yeah.
is weird. but
Really?
Yeah, you can only see the bio.
Oh, okay. I did not know. Now we know.
And I get to clear a condition or mark a potential, so I'm going to clear my afraid condition.
All right.
And then Alex gets to shift my labels.
Yes.
All right.
While we're waiting, do you want to just tell me what they are?
You should be good.
Oh, well,
Roll 20 minus. Oh, okay.
my
hold
sheet
on.
just refreshed.
Yes, but now I can see yours.
Oh, good. I can't.
Really?
Hang on. Let me
Is
click
it
out of it.
is it me,
Go back in.
Jesus?
It came back. Okay. I just
Okay,
clicked out of it.
Yeah, let's see.
Roll 20 was like, no, sheet for you.
yeah,
It's not happening.
Because there was a whole lot about, I think, going to shift your freak down and shift your danger up. Because it's, got to make sure if you are what seems like currently the only one capable of landing blows, we got to make sure you're real good at that.
Okay. I like it. That makes my danger a 3.
Yep.
I'm dangerous.
All right. LB, do you want us to do the end of session stuff and then stars and wishes, or?
Well, why don't we just do stars and wishes with it? That way we can just go. Everyone just goes once.
So I'll do mine.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna give my star to Rachel. I forgot her character's name. Jupiter. I'm gonna give my star to Jupiter. Just for the just a real full-hearted commitment to the bit from like out the gate of like, yes, I love your human pop culture. It's very funny. And I can't wait to see you have to continue to make pop culture references from 15 years ago.
If you don't think that this is all I'm going to be having on
Very good.
all week, you would be mistaken.
Very good, and I love it. So that's my star is always for commitment to a good bit. And then wishes. I will wish for eventually, because I'm a sucker for consequences. I'll wish for someone eventually to call Sophia on her bullshit a little bit, because she's a little like, yes, I'm very cool and nothing else. There's no nerd shit here. What are you talking about? I don't know how clocks work. Why would I know that? That's for nerds. So, and she's a super nerd. She's got like comics tucked everywhere in her room and the secret sewing machine because she doesn't want anybody to know she can do things.
Perfect.
Call her on her bullshit.
unless either of you have ideas.
Oh, I could go if
Sure.
you need another minute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that I grew closer to the team just in the sheer sense of like we actually worked together as a team, which is something she's still very much getting used to. And just actually being able to do things combat wise as a team is gonna like really help her not be on her own anymore. As we saw as she tried to be supportive.
Yeah. And you're going to pick one person who kind of you grew closest to, you felt. And you're going to, if they have influence over you, or let me get that right, you're going to be able to either take influence from them, you're going to give influence to them and clear a condition or mark potential.
I'm going to say that I'll say Billy because he wants to hang out with me afterwards and we're going to go continue to work on team stuff. He noticed that I am still uncomfortable with it and I would like to get better at not working on my
Yeah.
own.
Yeah. So because I do already have influence over you, I get to
Mhm.
shift your labels. Going to bump your mundane down because you were very much like, yes, I'm an alien and from another world. But going to I'm deciding between savior and superior because I know you were kind of doing the provoke someone with the superior. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. Bump your superior up to 3.
All right.
All right, and you can either clear a condition or mark potential, Rachel.
I will clear my afraid.
All right. Alex, go ahead.
Or
Did you want me to
Rachel
do
stars.
stars
Oh,
and
yeah,
wishes?
sorry. Yeah, stars and wishes, please.
I am going to go give my star to I'm going to give my star to Sophia and Savvy because I very much enjoy the cool as a cucumber on the outside, but secret nerd on the inside characters. Big fan of that, and I can't wait to see what if one of us decides to call Sophia on our bullshit. What happens?
The breakdown.
Yeah, and my wish.
You can't know I know how to read.
Yeah, right. How dare we? My big wish though, is I really hope that Nancy can convince Jupiter to get her entire planet to strike Ed McMahon from the record and replace his name with like something of her choosing. Like I want the entire planet to refer to Ed McMahon as like something else.
I'm in love with this idea. He's
That's
like your
my
planet
wish.
Hitler.
For
I
this
do-
campaign.
I do like that it was like not kill, but just
No.
strike him from the record and have them
Ruin
call him
his name.
Voldemort.
Yes, basically, yeah. We want him to
Colin,
my planet's Voldemort.
Yeah.
Ed McMahon.
I was trying to remember this silly NPC name from earlier. Now I can't. What's that full name?
Which
Duke Hogwood.
Duke
That was his name.
Hogwood, yes. I can't believe
That's
I
your
banged
name
that
now,
guy.
Ed.
That's my wish.
All right.
Ed McMahon becomes Voldemort.
So I think for me, going to choose grow closer to the team. Going to choose Sophia because she, was very much like, "Hey, Billy, you did a good job with your magic. It didn't, you did good." And that's something that he is definitely, hyper aware about, and she would know this because they're good buds. But so yeah. And then I'm going to mark potential because I think it's the Nova. I don't really want to clear my conditions all that often. So, gonna hang on to my guilty condition currently.
Perfect.
I have influence over you.
Mhm.
Yep.
Sure. Let's see. Well, your freak's already a 3,
Yep.
which is good. Um, I'm going to. I don't want to shift that down. You're real min-maxed over here, bud.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
I don't want to shift that down. I'm gonna shift Billy's danger down and
Okay.
savior up.
Okay.
Because of the real defensive position that he was taking before.
Sure. Makes sense. Let's see. My star is going to go to Tanya and Nancy for making the vendetta against Ed McMahon believable and not just like a "what is this girl on about" sort of thing. Because I'll be honest, when you first said it, it's like, huh, could that work? But it's working so far, and I'm excited to see where that goes. And then my wish. I'm excited to see us, or I want to see us all have training sessions and actually try and come up with combo moves and things that we can actually like, 1-2 punch off of each other with, especially as where you're figuring out what our actual combat potential is.
Oh, I just thought of a good one because Nancy can use telekinesis. Just throw Sophia.
Fastball special.
Basketball special.
Just throw me.
Just
Okay.
toss me.
You're
Done.
gonna have to toss me.
Sold. Yeah.
Can I change my wish?
Save it for next time. Write it down. Nancy. Tanya.
Okay, I will say that I grew close to the team. And as part of my end of game stuff, my Nemesis, it's answer the question, did you make progress on defeating your Nemesis? Which is what I asked earlier, if talking to the kids, spreading the hate.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to mark a potential, or if it's no, I have to mark my doom track. So when I came up with the Ed McMahon thing, I had not read that part yet. So I'm like, shit. So that's kind of where, when you asked us about the NPCs, that kind of helped me out a little bit there.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's the next part I have to do? Do I have to do like an influence or something?
You have to pick someone who you think you grew close, like, or who like made you feel welcomed, or who you think you grew closest to in the session, as far as the characters.
I was gonna say Sophia, because when we were talking about what kind of combat, like, hey, what are like coming up with, hey, we need to work together.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I'm like, oh, I forget what happened, but anyway, yeah. Like help come up with something together there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or change the memories.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know what that happened. What happened?
So does Sophia, do you have influence over Nancy?
I do not, so I get influence over Nancy now. So I have influence over the whole team.
Hell yeah. That's good. That's good.
It's good for our team pool in combat.
It is.
And also, I get +1 to any roll that targets any of you.
Hell yeah. So you also, Tanya, you can either clear a condition or mark potential.
I'm going to clear my afraid condition.
Okay, perfect. And I need a star and a wish.
My star is going to be Billy/Alex for your commitment to your character's punctuality and overall. Because you said that Sophia was late and then you came back later and like a whole nother scene, like 1 minute and 15 seconds late, which is exactly what I pictured in my head based on what you had said. So I really like your dedication there. My wish, it was going to say basically what Rachel said, that like, I want someone to get on Nancy's side about Ed McMahon, to be like, you know what? Yeah, fuck that guy. And so I like the idea of making her planet hate him as much as I do.
Perfect. That's it. That's the end of the session. That's the end of the first session.
Stars and wishes, LB.
Oh, my stars and wishes. Oh gosh. Okay. My star is just, I think this is kind of a cop out, but I like how into character you guys are getting already. You have a very good idea of who you all are as characters and how you're interacting. you're making it very natural, as like you guys have known each other for years, and like it's not awkward or anything like that. So that's awesome. It's really cool. Kind of hard to do for most people. So amazing. Good job. And my wish, this is my channel. So spooks and romance. That's what I want. So I'll be maybe throwing some things there for that. But yeah, those are my stars and wishes. And but let's just do a quick everyone go around and say who you are and where people can find you. And then we'll do our way out of here. Savannah, take it away.
I will take it away. Hello, I'm Savvy. I'm at Savvy Seaworth on the internets. My streaming schedule is pinned to the top of my Twitter page. You can find me here every Sunday night, now playing masks as this disaster child. One of many. Otherwise, you can find me Thursdays through Sunday afternoons on twitch.tv/game nights. It's game with 2 G's and nights with a K. Most of these folks have been or reside on that channel at some point, and I'm just gotta kidnap Tanya at this point, and then I'll have everyone. Yeah, coming out with us over there, we play all kinds of games. I'm currently running our game that's happening on Sundays. We're playing Vaesen. We're almost done with that mini series, and then we're going to be transitioning to something else. And then we announced it today. I gotta put out our official materials, but we have a new show that's coming up. I'm going to be running Dungeons and Dragons on Monday nights on that channel. It is a show called The Forgotten, and we're playing Horde of the Dragon Queen, but it is a place for all of our Dungeons and Dragons characters that didn't get to have their stories told. So games that ended too quickly or didn't come to fruition or things like that, we're going to take a bunch of those characters and we're going to let them have a whole adventure. So it's going to be really fun. It's called The Forgotten. It's going to be starting next Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm going to be DMing, which means there's no rules. So come watch us not play Dungeons and Dragons. And yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you very much. As always, love having you here. Love seeing your face. So pretty. Next up is Rachel.
Hey, that's me. You can find me here on Twitch at Rachel Elizabeth or on Twitter. Twitter and Instagram at Rachel Elizabeth with a Z in the middle instead of an S. Although I'm bad at both of those things, I'll try to get better. And I promise that at some point I will actually post a streaming schedule besides just on Twitch, but I'm easily distracted and I do 1,000 different things. But yeah, on my channel, I stream things like Dead by Daylight, and I just finished Until Dawn for the first time, which happens usually on Friday nights. I play like something spooky on Fridays for fun, because that's like all I do is play horror games. But I killed people like in the last second accidentally. Like I had survived with like 6, and I was like, hell yeah, look at me go. And then I made one split-second decision right at the end, killed 2 more people. So whoops. So now I'm going to play through it again and try to save as many as possible, which will probably result in me killing everybody because apparently that's a possibility. But yeah, and you can find me here on Sundays playing masks now as this weird little alien girl.
Love it. Absolutely. Great to have you. I'm excited to see more of this character. Next up is Miss Tanya.
Oh, hey, I don't do a ton on the internet. I have my podcast, Spider Effects with Billy, trying to pump some of those out. And I do this, and you can find me on Instagram where I post nothing of any sort of cohesion, just things that I like. And if in real life, I'll have some things to talk about eventually at some point. But now that's all I got for you. Good night.
Thank you for that. Thank you for being with us. Great to have you as always. Next up is Alex.
Hello, I'm Alex, OMG It's Some Guy on the internet. I'm mostly over on GGK where Savvy lives. I'm there Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays. Next time you'll see us will be, well, I say us because LB will be there. We'll be on Tuesday as we return to our Savage Worlds game. That's the Cthulhu-esque one that I mentioned at the start of the stream.
Thank you very much for joining this show and all of our fun friends. Thank you, everyone in chat, for hanging out with us and for being such wonderful folks out there. It's great to have you. We are gonna raid Runaway Robot because he is amazing. Joel is a cool dude. But I'm LB Hackemup. You can find me at LB Hackemup on the Twitters and the Twitches. This show or this channel is going to be live on Tuesday. I'm going to be playing Alien Isolation, probably. I don't know. Maybe I'll play Dead by Daylight. Who cares? But Thursday night, they will be doing a Themeless Thursdays as always. And Laura and I will be back on Fridays doing our Friday Night Frights. But until next time, I'm LB Hackemup. Hack recklessly. Bye!